Hello, Kindred Spirits, and welcome to my spiritual oasis. Here, weary souls come to find inner wisdom and peace. Today, we are going to be doing our Soulful 7 channeling messages from Spirit, the universe, God, for you for the next 5 to 7 days. So these are messages, areas of, contemplation and meditation as you go through your week. So we're going to start off with kind of a general message for each group. They are all intuitive readings. There will be 3 groups. The links to the 3 groups will be in the description. And then at the end of each reading, there will be a soul truth question. There will be 3 soul truth questions laid out that you get to select to take forward with you on your week for the next 5 to 7 days. So these are meant to be timeless messages. So whenever you receive this video and the message for you, it's meant for you to kind of take the messages for the next 5 to 7 days from whenever you are receiving this video. These are soul lifting, cup filling, spiritual, emotional, cup filling messages for you. The intent of this is to fill your cup to overflowing so that you can then overflow and spill into those around you and bring light and love to the people around you and the places around you. So, without further ado, let's get right into group number 1. So if you do need to pause the video right now, you can do that to meditate on which group that you believe has your message. If you're drawn to multiple groups, feel free, of course, to listen to multiple messages because your message might be a combination. So, without further ado, let's get right into the readings. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So we have our Starseed Oracle as our guiding energy for our messages today. We're going to go ahead and give her a shuffle. What messages? What guiding message do we have for group number 1 today? Guiding message for group number 1. I'm sorry. Defenselessness, righting past wrongs, uprooting. Acknowledging where we've made mistakes is really critical to our own healing. If we don't acknowledge that we've made a mistake, in many ways, it's like we're not able to like move past it. Acknowledging that something is there gives us the power. Like, it puts the power into our court. And I know it feels like it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel powerful. But it really is a powerful space to be in, a powerful place. And it sets us up for forgiveness, self-forgiveness mostly. Because that's where forgiveness starts. Like, if someone else can forgive us, especially if we've, caused them pain or hurt. But self-forgiveness doesn't, forgiveness from other people doesn't assuage our own guilt, our own despair, our own shame. That is something that only we can do for ourselves. And I feel like a lot of the times we don't do that because we don't feel like we're worthy of forgiveness. And worth in conversation about any other topic is pretty much the same. Like, you have to make the decision. You have to make the decision that you are worthy. You have to feel it out for yourself. No one else can do that for you. Okay. Wow. So I feel like in conversation here with our I'm sorry, we have major energy rolling up. So we have the Tower. So I feel like the Tower is definitely connected to whatever the I'm sorry or the apology is about, whatever the past wrong that was doing, or this space of defenselessness, this space of almost like despair. So like something, I feel like the Tower is representing something that not only happened, but also something that happened that was life-changing. So we also have Metamorphosis, which is the equivalent to the Death card. So we have the Tower and the Death card. So I feel like there's a tremendous amount of change, a tremendous amount of transformation that's coming from this incident, whatever this struggle is. And for some of you, I am getting that this idea of uprooting to me is a message like a root work message. So I am going to pull a couple cards from my Hoodoo Tarot here to see what your ancestors have to say to you, what advice or encouragement that they have for you. But the one thing that I did also want to say was, you know, this idea of disruption and conflict. So the Tower is about change, as Metamorphosis or Death is also about change. However, the Tower is disruptive. There's conflict. There's challenge. There's difficulty. It almost like shoves you out the door. It kicks you in the butt right out the door. And while you're in the air, you have to figure out what the heck you're going to do after you land, and how to move on and pick up the pieces of your life and pick up your pieces of the situation. So I feel like with, okay, so I just literally got the message here that you could be also apologizing to yourself too, for not listening to yourself, or not heeding your own warnings, or ignoring that voice inside your head. So this doesn't necessarily have to be like past wrongs, like something you did wrong to someone else. It could definitely be like not respecting your own wisdom, knowledge, understanding, boundaries. So it could be a lot of things here. We're gonna head so Metamorphosis, the Death card, is really a beautiful card, and I actually like that it's a part of this conversation, because the Death card to me is more of a gradual change. It's like death arrives, you know, and ushers you into another stage or place or space in life. And I like this idea of metamorphosis. It reminds me of a butterfly, you know, almost like you're the caterpillar right now. And I feel like the caterpillar, you know, has a lot of growing to do. But the caterpillar doesn't know that. As it's going through its life, it's crawling around, it's eating up all of the leaves. It doesn't necessarily know where the hunger comes from, but it just, you know, it fills that void, whatever that need is. And then it picks up and, you know, it makes its chrysalis and then turns into a butterfly and goes about its life. But the thing that I really love about this idea of metamorphosis is this idea of like gradual change. So I do feel like there's going to be something that it's almost like a bolt of lightning that shocks through you, that awakens the devastation, the point of like, you should be concerned about this. This is a problem. Like that bolt of lightning, I feel like is going to come. And then I feel like, or if it has not already, and then from that is the change. So profound change. And I'm getting, for some of you, it's spiritual. For some of you, I'm getting, it's like related to self-love and self-worth, and just kind of coming into the knowledge, into the understanding that you are worthy of whatever it is that you need and want in your life to grow you, that you deserve that. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be cared for, cared about. And I feel like that is going to be the profound change, the profound metamorphosis. And I feel like it's going to manifest in the physical world as well. I feel like it's going to manifest in more than just one, not just spiritually, but also physically as well, in various different ways. So we're also talking about self-awareness here as well. Self-awareness, yeah. I think a lot of you are apologizing to yourself. That's why I think this card came up. There was some sort of self-violation, not listening to yourself, not following your gut, not following your intuition, something along those lines where you violated yourself. You didn't follow your heart, you followed your head, or you didn't use your logic. Instead, you were being emotional, that sort of thing. And I feel like there's change coming around that. If not now, very soon. And then in fortitude, fortitude is our courage, or no, it's our strength card. And it's about vitality, courage, and it's like, what I get here is really this idea of like life. It's almost like a cycle of death and life. So we have this tower event, this very intense, devastating ending. And then we go through the metamorphosis, we go through the change. And then we come out, because it almost looks like she's coming out of this flower. I don't know how well you can see that, but it almost looks like she's coming out of the flower. So it's like a rebirth in a way. Like that's really what I'm feeling here. And coming out stronger, coming out wiser, coming out ready to take on your life and your life's purpose. Ready to get in alignment with your destiny. Ready to tap into your knowledge and your resources and claim your power, claim the power that is always yours, has always been yours, and just like allowing yourself to utilize it, I guess is the word. Okay, so we pulled some cards from your ancestors. I'm going to go ahead and we have ancestors here, which is literally the same major card. Oh, I think it's interesting that they call it ancestors here. Miss Robbins is our devil card. It's really interesting that she popped up because I was literally feeling this energy in connection to not listening to yourself, not following your intuition, like ignoring yourself and doing what other people say or what they want, or this whole idea of just like not listening to yourself, not respecting your power and your perspective and the gifts that were given to you to nurture and to grow. I feel like it's a violation of your ancestors, and I feel like they're coming in to say, they're coming in, I feel like, obviously not to like rub it in your face or anything like that, but I feel like they're coming in to say like, hey, we're here. We are a manifestation of our ancestors. We are a fulfillment to their prophecy of life. Those that come after us are a fulfillment to our prophecy of life. So I really love this idea of, the cycle of life. And I feel like your ancestors really are, you know, coming in to tell you that death is just the beginning. And we're talking about death in, you know, death in multiple ways, not like an actual literal death, but the idea of death, the concept of death, which is what this card represents. It's really here to remind you that the only thing that is truly permanent is impermanence. So just understanding that change is, in fact, a part of life, which, you know, I feel like we have a good understanding of that. We know that to be the truth. It's okay to mourn the loss. So whatever you're losing back here, whatever you're moving on from, it's okay to mourn that. It's okay to be sad. But life goes on. Time continues. And we must continue with time. So it really is, to me, reiterating this idea of transformation and change. And I feel like your ancestors are saying, it's time to change. It's time to move forward. It's time to move on. Where we were in the past, and even like emotionally, right? So we might physically pick up, take another job, move states. But what is coming with us? Wherever we go, what's the constant? We're the constant. So if we are the same, we are not changing in a core level, in a spiritual level, in a root level. If we are not uprooting ourselves and changing and transforming and metamorphosizing into a elevated version of ourselves, we're going to keep experiencing the same things. So I feel like your ancestors are saying change is the only constant. Change is good. It's scary sometimes, difficult, challenging, yes. But it's in that challenge, it's in that difficulty that we find meaning, that we find purpose, that we find our destiny. Finding your destiny, if it was easy, everyone would be living in their destiny. But everyone's not living in their destiny. We know that as well. So it's worth the it's worth the challenge. It really is. So again, our Miss Robinson card we kind of talked about already. I feel like there's also a warning here for you to beware of liars, backbiters, syndicators, and frenemies. So I kind of mentioned it before, like, you know, people who are around you that aren't like with you. They're not riding with you. They're just present. And often they're whispering negativity and death into your life. So be mindful of the people that you surround yourself with. And then our Son of Baskets here, it could represent a person, sun, moon, rising, in a water sign. So Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces. It doesn't necessarily have to. But our Son of Baskets is really the idealist. So he is equivalent to the page in the tarot, or in, I would say, the Rider-Waite. So he's the Page of Cups, and he's an idealist. He's artistic, deep, inquisitive. And I say he just because they're showing a male figure here. Doesn't necessarily have to be a male. Unafraid of intimacy or commitments. Yeah, just that really creative soul, creative spirit. I almost think of him as the wandering artist sort of thing. Kind of following his emotions where they may take him. And in this case, and in this kind of light, you know, as creative as he is and unafraid of intimacy and commitment, as curious as he is, as deep and artistic as he is, he can also be mature and unproductive, undiscerning, and he definitely might avoid some responsibilities. So, Yeah, and this like detachment from reality and that sort of thing. So I feel like if this card is relating to your energy, I feel like it's an encouragement to find balance. So I'm feeling like in order to make it through some of these difficult events, I feel like the message here is for you to tap into your creative energy, to embrace some of that carefree energy of our Son of Baskets, and to dive into the emotions that you're feeling and use those emotions to your benefit. Just in general, like accepting them, acknowledging them, the good ones and the difficult ones, and then taking that forward with you. So that's kind of what I'm feeling there for that one. Or this person could be coming into your life, I feel like, to help you transition from your difficult time to your positive time. And I feel like this person is going to really encourage you to tap into your own creativity. They're going to be very lighthearted and fun and funny and artistic and deep to be around. But I would say they, in many cases, unless they grow, aren't going to be like a very long term or a love interest. So if it ends up being somebody that and I could see that happening, like this person being of love interest, a love interest for you because of their life-loving energy that they will have. But just be, mindful that that page energy, pages and knights are not kings. So just bear that in mind. So now we're adding Kohash to our conversation today. Keyword is repel. And I feel like it's very fitting that our Kohash is right next to our Miss Robinson. Because our Miss Robinson, again, our devil card, devil energy really is about like those vices. It could also be talking about like materialism and just like the things of the world that distract us. It could also be representing, drugs and other, I would say, more serious addictions like that. But it could also be just referring to like overindulgence. And I would say this time of transition, this time of metamorphosis for you is meant to push aside those things. Set those things aside. Set those things away from you. Repel those things so that you can make room for your healing and your growth, which is why we're here, which is why we're having this conversation in the first place, is for you to transition from a place of despair and move forward into a place of life. Okay, and now we're adding our dandelion to the conversation. The keyword here is humility, which I feel like is it's almost like apparent to me that this idea of humility is going to be very critical to our conversations moving forward about this transition. Like I said, whatever this conflict is like going to be a kick in the backside, and it's going to be an ego hit. So yeah, I feel like the Tower energy is definitely an ego hit as far as change goes, because it disrupts your life. It uproots what you're working towards, what you're working on, the mask that you're wearing in front of others, things like that. It's conflict. It's discord. And in order to make this change come into yourself, the self-awareness, I feel like is definitely connected with this idea of humility and just kind of just conceding to the power of this transformation, and doing so will you know, bring you over into this new, like, blossomed version of yourself. But it is going to take humility. So all egos aside here, and I feel like this card, like card, you know, our figures here on their knees, that is a sign of humility as well. It's almost like you're admitting defeat. You're like, yeah, I did that. I'm sorry. You know, it's definitely a concession and admission. And I feel like that's really the only way to move forward here. So even as you're going through the difficult tower moment, you might try to fight it. But I feel like the sooner you humble yourself to the event, to the situation, and the tower moment could be spiritual, it could be emotional. It doesn't necessarily have to be like you're homeless, you know, like your whole life turns upside down and you end up on the street. It could be a little less intense than that. But what I am seeing here and what I am feeling here is that it's going to be something that is going to shake you to your roots. All right, so we have wild orange and patchouli. So in our wild orange, the keyword here is good fortune. So our trigger statement here is what's the point? But the truth is that I attract abundance. So our wild orange is all about abundance. I love it. And I feel like this is going hand in hand with all of this, what I would call lovingly drama. All of this drama and change. And like I said, you have 3 majors in our tarot today. So some major changes, some big things happening. So what I do see with these major changes and these big things happening is that from this, right, when we emerge from our chrysalis as these beautiful butterflies, abundance. You will attract abundance, and sustainable abundance is the message that I'm getting. So you might have abundance, at least in the worldly realms right now. What I am getting here is going to be abundance, and it's going to be on layers. So emotional, physical, financial, spiritual. It's going to be on layers as we transition into this next stage of our existence. Feel the joy you would have once you have reached your goals, here and now. So it's basically saying, feel the success. It's like, feel where you are when you are successful. Feel that now. You will achieve your dreams fastest that way. Yeah, it's true. Like, just imagining. It's almost like imagining or claiming your prize, I would say. I would say claiming your prize. And then in our patchouli, you know, the trigger statement here, or the keyword, is earthly. The trigger statement is I hate my body. The true statement is my body is my temple. So this whole conversation is about, you know, your physical corporeal being, and like taking care of your vessel, your soul. This is your soul, your spirit's vessel, and like taking care of your body. Even if it doesn't look exactly the way you want it to, it doesn't feel exactly the way you want it to, it doesn't function exactly the way you want it to, I feel like the message here is really just paying homage to your body and be like, you know what? You're not perfect. Nothing is in this world. Imperfection is the only truth here on this earth. And, but I respect your body. I respect you. I am grateful for you, I feel like is a really critical and crucial, and that's really what this energy is talking about. It says, remember that you are a spiritual being having an earthly experience. Revere your loyal, sacred body. Yeah. And I would say doing that through physical movement through stretching, yoga, meditation. I would also say like what you eat, what you ingest is important to your body's, health and wellness as well. So bearing all of that in mind. Okay, so we got a little long-winded on this conversation, but that is okay. We're going to go ahead and start shuffling our soul truth questions. So again, we're going to be presenting 3 questions for you to take into your week. Selecting one of them to meditate, to journal on for the next 5 to 7 days. So for the next week, you're going to be focused on one of these particular subjects in relationship and connection to our conversation today. All right. So the first one says, what if it was easy? It doesn't have to be hard. Call in the universe, the stars, the angels, and all their powers. Find the solution. Would you take the next step if it were easy? It's time to expect ease. Call in grace and receive guidance. You are supported. So this is a very interesting that this came up because a message did come to me and I'm remembering it now. There were a lot of messages and some of them kind of get missed. But I did get the message that the Tower card, it shows conflict, it shows disruption, it shows difficulty. But the message that I received for that is sometimes this is due to our perspective. And I did mention that the sooner you accept that change is happening, that change is here, and not fight it, but embrace it, that's when I feel like that's the ease, the energy of this, the idea of ease. But I feel like the Tower energy doesn't have to be this difficulty. It doesn't have to be this conflict. That's up to you. And perception is so critical. And perception, is everything in a lot of cases. And what you tell yourself in your mind, what you repeat. If you tell yourself this is going to be hard, then this is going to be hard. But if you tell yourself, change is a part of life, this is going to be, I'm going to come into this in a place of ease, or a place of peace and a place of joy. And, of course, like expecting it to be a smooth transition. Then that's what it will be as well. So we manifest what we claim, what we believe, what we think. So the soul action for the week is list 10 possible ideals for your soul's current calling. Lean into ease. It's here. You just have to say yes to it. I love that. That's great. So we also have, how can I infuse more self-love and compassion into my daily life? If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. That is so solid. Yeah, I feel like it's easy for us to lean into others and kind of leave ourselves out to flail around and fend for ourselves. And I feel like this is a really good reminder to be compassionate, to be forgiving, to be gracious towards ourselves as well. So the soul action for the week is to choose one self-care action to do every day. Set stronger boundaries. Meditate and listen to your heart. Speak to yourself with compassion. Focus on your strengths. Say no to something that isn't a soul yes. Say yes to something that you are afraid of. Let go of what you cannot control. Stay far away from drama and negativity. We talked about our Miss Robinson and our Miss Robinson card. Ask for help and allow it. Allow it. Write down 3 things you are grateful for. Oh my gosh, I love gratitude. Anything that says grateful, gratitude, anything related to gratefulness or gratitude, I'm like all for. Because like gratitude, Like fear, anxiety, stress, these things cannot reside in the same home that gratitude lives in. So just kind of bearing that in mind a little bit. And then our third and our final card is, am I consistently showing up? Solid question. Am I consistently showing up? Some trade their dreams for comfort, yet comfort is the enemy of progress. Success requires showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, and even when it feels uncomfortable. It takes guts and an endless vision to stay consistent to your dream. Your soul action for the week is to journal, where you can be more consistent in your life in alignment with your soulful goals. Then show up. I love that. And because I'm a symmetrical type of person, this layout is so symmetrical, I have to pull another card. All right. What are the dominant emotions that run my life? They trying it with this card. They are. Just want to make sure you can see this. There we go. Dominant emotions. Burn with desire. There is power in your desires. Let them be your fuel today. Your desires are your soul's wings, and it's time to take flight. Your soul action for the week is to go inward. Your answers lie within. What do you desire? Choose what makes you happy and do that. I love it. I love it. All right. So we have a full spread today, group number 1. This was beautiful spending time with you. I certainly hope these messages were uplifting for you. They were helpful for you. They gave you some fuel, some ammunition for the week to meditate on, to contemplate through. And, you know, if something did resonate, make sure to drop a comment. Let me know what did. Let me know what question you're going to choose to guide your week, that you're going to choose to meditate on for the week. Click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already, as well as hitting that notification bell so YouTube lets you know when I upload new content. Also, make sure to like my Facebook page and check out my Etsy shop, where I curate content to help you on your spiritual journey. So thank you again for your time and your energy, and I will see you in an upcoming reading. Bye. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle our Starseed Oracle to see what your guiding energy is for today. What is group number 2's guiding energy, guiding message from you, Spirit, Universe, God? What guiding message do you have for group number 2? Whale and Orca. Okay, there are words. Whale and Orca Elders. Share your song, frequency and sound. Diving deep. What this card, like the energies that just started flowing hard for me, was first of all this idea of elders is speaking to some root work conversations here. So we are going to pull some root work, some Hoodoo tarot cards to see what messages your ancestors have for you. But I'm really feeling this idea of communication, using your voice, self-advocacy, even diving deep, like, so doing root work in general, just diving deep inside of yourself to figure out what are some of the guiding energies that rule your life, is kind of what I'm getting to. Frequency of sound, sharing your song reminds me of like sharing your story, but also means it could also be relating specifically to some people about sharing your message through creative avenues using your voice. So whether that's singing, playing an instrument, poetry, spoken word, it could also be like a podcast or something like that, like using your voice to communicate your story. And then this idea of frequency of sound reminds me of, for some of you, like, meditating with the different frequencies that will vibrate to specific parts of your chakras, like specific chakras that you need to clear, that you need to activate, that sort of thing is also the message that I'm receiving for you, group number 2. Okay, so we have 3 Hoodoo tarot cards that we're going to add to the conversation today. So we have Strength, Mother of Sticks, and Courting. So our Strength card, I really love it. It's really about this idea of strength through gentleness. So not like brute force strength, but strength through gentleness, kindness, compassion, and even like using the power of persuasion to get your results, and not like brute force. Influence. And it's also a warning that brute force will backfire on you. So just like a message to be mindful of that. If you're going through difficulty, it's also a message that you will get through that difficult time. Don't give up. You are capable. And I feel like, that these are definitely messages from your ancestors, from your elders. The energy that they want, it's like messages that they want you to know. So they want you to know that you have the strength and the tools to get through any challenges or difficulties that might come up in your life. So being aware of that. And then in our courting card is a card about choices. It's about having choices, and it's also about making choices and making decisions. It could also be connected to like binding ties as well, and asking yourself, like, what are you bound to? What are you connected to? Who are you connected to? Who are you bound to? It's also connected to how you really feel. It's like connecting to how you really feel versus like just like parroting someone else or other energies. It's like getting down to the root of how you feel. And it's also about like fully committing to something and seeing where it takes you. So if we're talking about, again, like this idea of some sort of creative endeavor that allows you to share your story, that uses your voice. Like, what would happen if you really leaned into it? Like, if you were thinking about, say, starting a YouTube channel or starting a podcast or something like that, what would happen if you really committed to it? What would happen if you truly leaned into that? And I feel like the message here is that great things are going to happen when you truly lean into these things, especially if they are in alignment with your life's purpose. And then we have our mother of sticks. So our sticks, that's our wands energy, so our fire energy. And our mother of sticks really is a very uplifting card, right? It's about optimism and confidence, courage, which I feel like is definitely related and connected to our strength card. It's also about focus, which we talked about with courting, like making a decision and leaning into a passion. And it's also about power, being powerful. Some things to watch out for, I feel like, is this idea of being overbearing, two-faced, and working too much Because at the end of the day, it's really all about balance. But I feel like our Mother of Sticks is giving you the tools and the energy to really lean into your passions. And that's what I feel like the message is from your ancestors is, balance is necessary. We don't want to overdo it, but they're also letting you know that you have, first of all, choices. You have options. But when you have options, then you have to make a decision, and leaning into that decision, especially a decision that is related to your voice, that is related to you using your voice to advocate, to share your story, is going to be successful. But it is going to take strength. It is going to take finesse. Like, that's also kind of a word I like to think of when I think of the Strength card. This idea of finesse, this idea of using words as power and not like force as power, physical force as power. As well. So, yes. So we're going to add some tarot cards to the conversation. So we have the Two of Wands, which I feel like is very interesting that we're adding more fire energy here, because this one is definitely about independence. It's about achievement. Our Two of Wands is also about like having the world at your fingertips. It could also be relating to love. So there could be a love message in here for some of you. Or it could be romantic, or it could just be like a self-love type of conversation. I feel like our Mother of Sticks and our independence are really connected, and I feel like this idea of independence is like you're going to have to go out on your own in order to accomplish what you're really setting out to accomplish. That it's not necessarily going to come from someone else or like a connection of yours. Like, it's going to take you to be out on your own in order to do this, achieve this calling. And then we also have our Seven of Wands, lots of Wands energy. Excuse me. And our Seven of Wands energy is all about persistence. It's all about conviction. Yeah, I feel like whatever this thing is, whatever this endeavor is that you will be partaking in, that you will be taking off on, is going to take a lot for you, a lot for you to really lean into it, is what I'm getting. And I feel like the encouragement is for you to lean into it. And then our King of Cups, right under our Mother of Sticks. This idea of integrity and stability. So I'm getting a love message for some of you. Our King of Cups is about integrity and stability. It's about, to me, emotional stability. And I feel like Mother of Sticks energy and King of Cups energy is really about confidence. It's about emotional energy and the ability to channel energy into a productive way. So our Mother of Sticks is that fire energy. So channeling that passion, that outwardly strong, outwardly expressive, divine masculine energy into something that is productive for you. And then our King of Cups energy is about the emotional realm, the spiritual realm. Well, both of these are connected to spirituality. But this idea of having this power, having this stability, emotional stability is powerful. When you have your emotions under control, you're not afraid of them, but you're not suppressing them either. You kind of accept them, you lean into them, you use them. This idea of discernment came into place, and just spiritual awareness and groundedness. I'm getting a lot of really mature energy. Our King of Cups could also represent a love interest for those of you who are vibing with the love message here, which I do feel with our courting card, with our Two of Wands card, and our King of Cups card. So for some of you, there might be some love situation going on. Even our Mother of Sticks, this idea of passion and compassion. Our King of Cups could represent a water sign, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus in Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. Doesn't necessarily have to, but that's a possibility. For those of you who are looking for a love situation, I'm feeling with our King of Cups that it's going to be, I'm just getting, it's a feeling. Let's see if I can make words out of it. It's like this really calm, peaceful, like coexistence is really the only way for me to really describe it. Even in our Mother of Sticks, it's like this kind of, it's like laid back, but still like pushing forward. And I feel like in our Strength card too, it's almost like, you know, our figure here is behind this bobcat or whatever that, whatever the type of cat it is, but she's almost like behind it, like wielding its strength almost from the back seat. And that's also kind of how I feel about the Mother of Sticks energy as well. You know, she's kind of sitting back a little bit too. And then our King of Cups to me is like just very grounded, very peaceful energy. So it's just not excitable energy here. It feels like it's going to be paced. It's going to be, you know, with our water energy as well. I mean, our Wands energy acts a little bit quicker, but I feel like our water energy is kind of slowing us down a little bit. This is going to be paced. This is going to be something that happens over a period of time. And in that, it's going to be sustainable. The outcome will be sustainable. Long term with longevity. Yes. Okay, and so we have Hollyhock coming to the conversation about abundance. How fitting with our conversation today, this idea of abundance. Yeah, I mean, definitely feeling abundance coming from you making a decision and leaning into that decision. And then in our Wormwood, we have our keyword of caution, which I feel like in this case, it's really just, to me, caution. I feel like, I don't know, the message of like balance came to me really with that. Like a caution against going extreme in any direction. And I feel like we already kind of talked about that a little bit too. But this idea of, you know, caution with being too cautious and then not taking any action. And then also a caution of like overwork, overdoing it. And I feel like the message here is just like, is really about balance. It's about balance, really. Balance in general, like this, even this energy of like temperance feels very much so connected to this card's energy as well. Like caution as in don't do anything extreme right now. Be measured, a little bit more measured, a little bit more paced. Like I said, caution of also going too fast. Like I said, we have a lot of fire energy. But I do feel like our King of Cups energy is kind of telling us to slow down a little bit. Making sure that you hold on to your integrity so that you're not doing anything out of character. or of poor character with whatever you're going, whatever you're pursuing. And then this idea of stability and being stable and consistent. It's kind of also what I'm getting as well. And longevity, we also mentioned. Okay, so we are now adding clay sage and helichrysum to our conversation. So in our clay sage, the keyword here is insight. This is a crown chakra type of essential oil energy that is entering our conversation. So in clay sage, the trigger statement here is there is no hope, but the truth is there is a higher purpose. Connect with your higher self and allow to be guided to your higher purpose. As the veil of illusion falls away, you will find your answer. I feel like this is really great. I feel like this whole journey, our whole conversation here, this idea of like finding your voice, finding something connected to your voice and your song and all of these different things, I feel like it's definitely has a spiritual component to it, especially since we have our Styx energy, our fire energy, and our water energy kind of working together. That to me is just sharing that though we're working towards spiritual or though we're working towards like physical elements, we're working through spiritual or physical elements, we are also working for spiritual energy as well and spiritual conversations. So bearing all of that in mind as we move forward here, that there's always a higher purpose. And I feel like whatever this is that's using your voice, that's telling your story here, using sound, using music, using your voice is going to help you align or be in alignment with your life's purpose. So just kind of keeping that in mind. And then in our helichrysum, the keyword here is hope. So I think it's very interesting that the trigger statement for our clay sage was that there is no hope. And then in our other essential oil card, the keyword here is hope. So our trigger statement with this one is I will not forget. But the true statement is I open my heart. Release the suffering and take another step forward. With each step, you will see more light and healing. Yeah, that's really beautiful. I feel like this is really connected with that sharing of your song. Sharing your story. And often our stories, they have conflict, they have challenge, they have difficulty. Most stories do, like pretty much all stories do. And I feel like the idea here that it's not really about forgetting as much as it is about forgiving, accepting, and releasing. It's really, so release the suffering. So it's really not about, again, forgive or forgetting what it is, because you're not meant to forget it, because you're meant to share it. But it's about releasing it. So when you release it from your heart, when you open your heart and you release that negativity, you release that difficulty, that challenge, and your perspective of the situation, it yields a result of healing for you and light for you. So that saying these things, and saying them out loud, I feel like there is power in this idea of saying something out loud, not just in your head, not just saying, oh, I forgive myself, or I messed up in this case, like in your mind, but opening your mouth and saying it out loud. I did this. I did that. That was me. I did that. And I didn't like whatever it was. I didn't like how it made me feel. I didn't like the reaction that it had on the people around me, whatever. But speaking these things out, release, that's how you release it. When you speak out, you are exhaling. You are giving away that negative energy. And I feel like it's freeing. It's going to be very freeing for you is the message that I'm receiving. So, Release. Release. Okay, so that is our general message, group number 2. And I use general in quotation marks. And now we're going to pull some soul truth cards. The idea here is that you are selecting one of these cards to take in the energy of the card and the question from the card to meditate on, to contemplate through over the next week, as kind of like your homework, your spiritual homework for the week. So, here we go. I always find it interesting when this card comes up. So, am I on the right path? Sometimes we second guess what we are doing. We lose trust in the process and question if we are even on the right path at all. Know this. You are on the right path. Keep going. Keep believing. Keep remembering that you made a soul contract that you are currently fulfilling in every area of your life. Even if you can't see it, that doesn't mean it's not real. So the soul action for the week is to search for all the ways you are aligned with your soul's purpose. The signs will appear. Let this newfound trust fuel your next steps. So I feel like if you don't know if you're aligned, if you don't know what your life purpose is, so therefore you don't know if you're aligned or not, I feel like the message for you is to sit down with yourself and go over this stuff. Figure it out. Figure out what your destiny is. Meditate, contemplate, pray. Tap into your creative endeavors. What are you good at? What do you love to do? What is it, that thing that you do that when you look up, it's 10 hours have passed, or you started and the sun is out and you look up and the sun is down, you know? Search. Your destiny, the path to your destiny is not going to be easy, because we would all be living our destiny if it were easy to find the path to it. So there is going to take some work, some effort, some diligence, and also some desire. The will, the desire to know is also very important as well. So, and I like this idea of you are always on the right path, even when you're not. Even if you're taking a detour, you're still on your journey. You're on your way. You're heading in the general direction. And then our second question is, what risk can I take today? Okay. Be not mistaken. You will have to take bigger risks than you ever thought possible on this path towards your dreams. You will have to take the big, scary leap. But do not fret, because your soul has wings. Ooh, I love that. That is so beautiful. Yeah, I feel like it's going to, I feel like this idea of strength, this idea of like passion and resources and making choices, I feel like all of that energy is like, and even like we were talking about this, so I listed off some of the things that I thought might be connected to this idea of song and sound, and diving deep. Like taking that plunge is scary for a lot of us, but I also feel like I really love this idea of your soul has wings. This idea that it is not in vain. Like you taking this leap is not in vain. What risk can you take to move towards your dream? Beautiful. And then our final card today is, from whom can I release judgment right now? I feel like this came up in the last group as well. Judgment closes your heart to truth and separates us from love. It binds us to our fear and holds us in shame. On whom am I placing judgment right now? And how do I release that? So these are the messages that I've channeled for you today, group number 2. I hope this was helpful. If it was, make sure to drop a comment and let me know what resonated. Click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as liking my Facebook page and checking out my Etsy shop, where I curate content to help you on your spiritual and life journey. Thanks so much again for your time and your energy today, and I will see you in an upcoming reading. Bye. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So we're going to go ahead and get our Starseed Oracle shuffled for you as our guiding energy. What guiding message do we have for group number 3? Yeah. Double mission. Light worker, Starseed, serve the world by being you. Double mission. I mean, I feel like this is pretty specific to light seeds and star seeds and light workers. I blended those together. And this idea of service, but not just any service. Service by being who you are. And I feel like the conversation here might be, who are you? Who are you? And this is like a question for you to ponder on for the next 5 to 7 days. Who are you? What's your story? What's your real story, and what story are you telling other people is the message that I'm getting here for some of you. But I think it's really interesting and really beautiful to embrace both the light and the stars, like the star energy, this universal energy, the universe energy, which I feel like in many ways is about the cosmos, are almost like, you know, the universe is in many ways black, and this idea of light, working the light. But I feel like being on a sojourn, a soul-searching sojourn, that it's not just about helping people, is the message that I'm getting. It's not just about helping people. It's about helping people by being yourself. And in order to do that, you have to know who you are. You have to know what you stand for. And I feel like part of that does have to do with you, you know, filling your own cup, first of all. So I feel like being here in this place right now in our Soulful 7 conversations is a really positive move. Getting to know who you are better, spending time with yourself spiritually. Like I said, I'm getting the message here for you that it isn't just about helping other people. It's about building who you are and knowing who you are on a core level. So we're adding the 3 of Cups to our conversation. Our 3 of Cups, to me, this is like the ultimate friendship card. This idea of compassion and happiness. And I am feeling from you guys that you are very compassionate people, that you're very positive people, uplifting people. You're the person that people come to for, you know, when they're sad and they need to be lifted up. And you give emotionally without question. And I feel like that's beautiful. You know, I do feel like that is a part of who you are, a part of the core of who you are. This idea of compassion and empathy, friendship and happiness, being a friend, like that matters a lot to you. We have our Queen of Rings. Practicality and generosity. Ooh, generosity. You giving people your coins? Maybe somewhat. But this idea of practicality is also, you know, I feel like generosity is interesting because I truly believe that being generous is not just about giving like money. But I feel like generosity is a heart truth. It's like a soul level. And being generous from your heart manifests in abundance is how, it's just really what the energy that I'm getting. Our Queen of Rings could also represent someone in your life, sun, moon, rising in an earth sign. So we've got Taurus, we've got Capricorn, and we have a Virgo. Doesn't necessarily have to be, because I'm feeling that for some of you, this is your energy. you are a generous person. I'm getting Taurus, 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 just like repeating in my head over and over again. So maybe some strong Taurus placements in your birth chart, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. This idea of practicality, like being practical, but also being generous. And if you are not quite at the level of Queen of Rings sort of energy, like maybe you're really generous, but maybe not always practical. Maybe you give your last coin to someone that you needed to like eat with or pay the bills. I would say, I feel like the message for you is to get to that level of practicality as well. Like being generous, yes, but not eating, no. Like we still need to eat. We still need to fill our own cup. And I feel like that's why we're here. Like filling your cup to overflowing. Being abundant in all of these different areas of your life. In all the different areas of your life, so that your cup can overflow into others. So that you can freely give and be generous and compassionate and empathetic to other people. I feel like that's kind of the main conversation for you, group number 3, is focusing on yourself is not selfish, it's self-full. And that's why we're here today. We're filling our cups, not only spiritually, but these messages are meant to also be reflected in our physical world, our health, our, finances, our home, all of these different things, as well as emotional, as well as passions, the fire of our life, the passion, the love, all of that stuff. So we are meant to be 360-degree beings, okay? And that's the idea here, that we are filling up all of these areas that we're working on and working through all of these different compartments of our lives so that we can overflow into other people's lives. But if our cup is empty, or we only have one drop left, we cannot fill other people's cups. So just bearing that in mind. And then we have our 8 of Wands energy, which I feel like is really beautiful to add to our conversation here. This idea of an alignment, this idea of progress. I also feel like our 8 of Wands energy is about like a surge of energy, a surge of, spirit, universe, giving us the surge, the burst of energy that we need to accomplish our goals, and what we're setting out to do in our lives, to complete our mission. This idea of a double mission to me feels like you have a lot on your plate. But I feel like diving into who you are and using this Wands energy to get in alignment with yourself and your destiny, and understanding that, yes, like your light bulb needs to be fully charged before, you can be a beacon of hope for other people. So just bearing that in mind. And this idea of progress, I really love. This idea of forward motion, this idea of moving forward, having the power, the energy, the insight to be able to move forward and continue moving forward. And now we have our violet added to our conversation, this idea of attraction. Attracting, this is what I'm getting. Attracting the people, the opportunities, attracting the energy that you need to fulfill your mission. I'm almost getting like 3 of Rings or 3 of Pentacles energy here. This idea of collaboration and connection and working with others. And then we have a plantain added to the conversation. And the key word here is nourish. Nourishment. Yeah, I'm really getting this whole like nourishing yourself. Making sure, again, that your cup is full, that, you have enough to live off of and to thrive. Like, you need abundance in order to give out, right? and just having more than enough. And I am getting the message here that you will have that. You will have abundance. And it's about progressing, like finding your life purpose again. So back to our question in the beginning, like, who am I? Who are you? Who are you? Character, meaning, you know, who are you on a soul level? Who are you at the root? And then the idea of being more practical about your resources and not giving until you have nothing for yourself, I feel like is really important to our conversation. Okay. And then we have grounding. Keyword here is rooted. So this is a root chakra conversation. And our trigger statement is, I am somewhere else. The truth is, right here, now, everything is perfect. So I feel like it's just like living in the moment, living in the now. You know, as a starseed, maybe sometimes your head is in the clouds sort of thing, or you're in outer space and you're not grounded, you're not rooted on this earth and leaning into this earthly experience, I feel like sometimes as well. And that's also, I feel like some of you might, you know, just be like giving your last, like giving the last bit of anything that you have away, because you're not always grounded, you're not always rooted in the practical side of things. And I feel like that's what our Queen of Rings energy is talking about. So allow your energy to shift to the material plane, where it is needed to help you complete what you have set out to do. Ooh. Yeah, I feel like this whole conversation for you is about groundedness. Grounding you to see, grounding you to earth, my dear starseed, my beautiful light worker. Being a little bit more practical, I feel like, is what we've been saying in general. And so we have dill. The key word here is clearing. Our trigger statement is, none of this matters, but the truth is, I am clear. Feel as any external energy is cleared from you and your space. You are energetically pure and can focus on the task at hand. Yeah, I feel like this idea of focus, this idea of cleansing, clearing the clutter is what came to mind from the crystal deck. This idea of groundedness and rootedness. So it's almost like pushing energy up and down, like out of you, and grounding yourself. It's almost like you're floating. Like, that's what I'm imagining, and that's what I'm seeing. It's like you're kind of floating here through life, you know, kind of like a feather in the wind sort of thing. And I feel like the message for you is to ground yourself, bring yourself down to earth, be more practical, align yourself with your purpose and progress forward, instead of being like I said, feather in the wind and just kind of going wherever things take you. And I feel like this message is so strong because the work, this mission that was talked about in the very beginning of our conversation, I feel like is you're going to need to have resources on this earthly plane in order to accomplish what you really, truly want to accomplish. Whatever this, you know, what your mission is, this double mission. And I feel like, you know, finding yourself, spending more time with yourself is going to be important. But this idea of service is going to take practical, you know, worldly resources in order to achieve what you have set out to achieve, what you want to accomplish. And also thinking like, you know, using that feather in the wind as an item here, a conversation piece. I feel like you can't progress if you're that feather in the wind, because the feather in the wind goes wherever. There's no direction really to it. And I feel like you might even be feeling stuck. You might even be feeling like you're not moving forward in life. And that's why. It's the groundedness. Like, you love the freedom of it. You love feeling free. Gemini came really strong to mind. Sagittarius came really strong to mind. But, you know, mostly my Geminis. But I also got Sagittarius too. But this idea of being grounded, being practical, is a really strong message. And I feel like that's going to be your challenge, not only for the next 5 to 7 days, so not just for this week, but also like as you move forward, because I'm getting like you just have a really freedom loving type of energy to you. And now we're going to add in our soul truth card. So our general message is complete, and then we're just going to add our soul truth cards into the conversation. So these are meant to be questions that you take forward into your day and week. So for the next 5 to 7 days, you're kind of chewing and on these things, and taking a question with you to meditate on, to journal on over the next week is meant to be what this is. So the first one says, do I know all my strengths, and am I using them? We all have superpowers, but it's up to us to uncover them. When we live and lead with our strengths, we are able to show up in our zone of genius. This inspires others to do the same. I feel like this whole conversation of being you. So discovering who you are. Who are you? What are your superpowers? So your soul action for the week is to ask yourself, how can I use one of my soul's gifts today to contribute to this open and ready world? Discovering your superpowers, I feel like, is a huge message here for you guys. And so we have, am I clear on what my soul really wants? Take out the shoulds and the limitations. Get out of your head and pay attention to your heart's desire instead. If you knew it was impossible to fail, what would you do? Wherever you go, go with all your heart. So your soul action is to ask yourself, what is it that your soul really wants? What does your heart crave? Then take one step in that direction. I feel like this is very much so connected to our conversation today. So that would be a really solid one. And then our final one, what am I most afraid of losing? What am I most afraid of losing? As we grow, change, and transform our lives, it requires us to let go of something that was, to make room for what will be. If you were to take the big leap today, would you feel scared of losing love, safety, or belonging? What if it was a big fat lie? What if it was impossible to lose any of those things because you have the power to give everything you need to yourself? So your soul action for the week is to name that fear and look at the worst case scenario, find a solution, take your power back by being certain of who you are and where you are going. I feel like this is very much so connected to our conversation today. Fear blocks our energy. It does. And it keeps out the positive things that should be residing in that space of fear. So I feel like that's a really solid question to take forward with you as you move on this double mission, my beautiful light workers and starseeds. So these are the messages that I have channeled for you today. I hope this was helpful If it was, make sure to drop a comment down below. Let me know what resonated. Click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already. Hit the notification bell so YouTube lets you know when I upload new content. Make sure also to check out my Facebook page and my Etsy shop, where I curate content to help you on your spiritual and life journey. So thank you again, beautiful soul, for your time and your energy sharing space with me today. And I will see you in an upcoming reading. Bye.